Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. This show is in English. Este programa está en inglés. Questo spettacolo è in inglese. Se spettacolo è in inglés. Hello, welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. And as you can see, we have my very good friend Tony from London again. Thank you, Tony. Always a pleasure, always an honor. Today we have the subject of resonation. Do you want to call it like that, or how do we resonate with people, something like that?
Yeah, frequency resonation.
Yeah. Frequency resonation with each other. So with that, Tony, if you could please start with introduction, then I'll let you know what I think. Thanks.
Cheers, Alex. Thanks, mate. Yeah, nice to be on the show again. Yeah, I think people, there's so many different types of people, but and how they resonate. There's so many different groups. Like you've got hippies, heavy metal, punk rockers, goths, pop music, reggae, and then you've got the different cultures. So it's just a complete mixing pot of different types of people. And because you're born in one culture or country, it doesn't mean you agree with everything it tells you. So I think it's like a process of learning who you are and what you like and what you don't like, as in what resonates with you, what frequency you're at. And then once you're true to yourself, you can be honest about life and say, yeah, I really don't like this group of people. They gossip too much, or they're too materialistic, or they're not materialistic enough. And then you have an insight into yourself, and that frequency that you are naturally, you can then think, well, I'll try a different group of people. I'll try a different hobby or musical instrument. I'll learn about who I am, and then I can choose the group better because I'm resonating at my truth and what I truly like and dislike. And therefore, I'm not just bouncing around like a ping pong ball to one group or another. So, yeah, resonation is like knowing yourself first and what your nature is, what your true nature is, your personality. But that's changeable as well. So, yeah, it's a discovery of yourself and what you truly like or dislike, I think, which is probably my best effort at starting this off. Yeah, knowing yourself and then finding about what you're about helps you discover your tribe, as some call it, the tribe you want to be in. Like certain people, they find their tribe and they know where they're at home, so to speak. So yeah, I'll put it there, mate. Find out who we are, and then we've got a better idea where we want to be. Yeah.
Yes, mate. And as you were suggesting this topic, I was telling you that I agree completely. Resonation is a very important thing on human relationships. I do have an exception, as I shared, and as I share very, very often at the end of my shows when I say, well, have a great Monday, have a great Friday, because shows come out on Monday or Friday. And I say, if you can, enjoy with family and friends. I mean,
yeah,
maybe what I'm trying to reach is someone that hasn't spoke to their families or their friends for a while because of lack of resonation, to say, make an effort. Okay, I understand. It's much better to have resonation. But it's also very important that we spend time with our tribe, as you say, and those are all tribes. So for me, I remember when I started the show, one of the first emails, someone told me, well, first of all, this person was telling me that I made a mistake, I think on show 1 or show 2, on an image. I was saying the wrong thing. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to pass judgment or anything, but I do seem a little bit harsh. Like, I have no patience for stupidity or something like that. And I was like, all right, okay, no worries. And then he said, I'm not, because it was a very long email. And then he said, I'm having problems interacting with people exactly because it's like I'm awakened beyond all this knowledge I have. I cannot interact with people anymore. They're just too stupid for me. I don't know, something like that. So my suggestion was, make an effort. Yeah. Make an effort. You might be right or not. You might know more than the normal person. That's fine. You might know more than your family. That's fine. You might know more than your friends because you have researched more. And people tend not to do that because, again, like the song says, girls just want to have fun. It's not just girls. Everyone just want to have fun.
Yeah.
So they're not into watching videos, reading books. They're into having fun, traveling, relaxing. making money, buying their car. I'm sorry, I mean, this goes back to a previous episode on appearances, that it's about, that's what they are about. And yes, it sounds very materialistic, it sounds very shallow, it does, but that's the reality, okay, of this world right now, unfortunately. So I think you and I and Pat and Joe and the other Tony and we have found, and Jeannie, by the way, and we have found this group that we find people that we find that resonation. But at the end, with a regular friend, I'm saying regular with you, maybe long-time friends and that, try to adapt to them and not them to you. That works for you, okay? And it really just takes effort. So I can explain my story. I mean, I used to talk about aliens and that, and they will make fun. And it didn't bother me, but then I stopped doing it, because I felt, well, if they're not interested in that, why should I keep pushing? You see? If I'm not gonna say it, but people know what I'm saying, what happened 4 years ago and the subsequent thing.
That's it.
I pushed it a little bit, and then I just pulled. First of all, my wife and I were the only ones, all for social groups, all for family groups, not to have the thing.
Yeah.
And so why keep pushing the envelope? Why keep bringing it up?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? So resonation is extremely important. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you that we have a tribe, and sometimes this tribe is not very apparent, because there's this story that we're living multiple lives as a tribe, okay? And we're kind of helping each other. So it happens that sometimes you meet someone late in your life, 40s, 50s, 60s, even more. And immediately you feel the resonation. You feel yes, this person gets me, and that.
Yeah.
And people, family members you have known for all your life, you don't find that.
No.
Of course. You know what I'm trying to say, mate?
Yeah. It's like you need to find common ground between people. You need to, like that guy, he's a bit aloof, the guy that said, "Oh, I'm too smart," type thing. He needs to find common ground and be open to their point of view, and not necessarily compare knowledge, but just be friendly, just help each other. And maybe he might want to say to them, "This is what I believe," and say his piece, say it once, and they might say, "Oh, it's rubbish. I don't believe in all that rubbish." Then he should stop and say, "Okay, let's talk about something we've got in common and build bridges, instead of, I'm better than you, you're stupid, I'm smart." Build bridges with common ground that you know. You might like the same music, you might like the same food, or whatever it is. Just build bridges, because once you find what resonates with you and that other person, you learn more, and you grow as a person. You realise, oh, I didn't know as much as I thought I knew. Like me and you, we talk, and I never knew you before this thing happened, 3 years ago. So, and you sort of realised, oh, he talks kind of like I talk. We've got that in common. And then as we started to talk, once we built these bridges, I didn't realise how much I learned from you and your perspective, because I was open to you and open-minded to your views. Some things I don't agree, which is natural, but a lot of what you say and your morality, mainly, that's the core of it all. It rings with me. It's like, yeah, this guy gets it. He gets what I get. And we seem not arrogant that we're better or we know more. It's just that it resonates. That's where we're at. And once you see people, like you meet people like us, and then you meet Pat and Joel and Jeannie and so on, our knowledge grows, and it confirms in us, oh, we're not mad. We're not crazy, because when I was on my own, I was talking to people in my life. Not many got me. Not many understood what I was talking about, or why I was so adamant about, that's wrong. What are you doing now? That's wrong. Do better. And my views, and they never got me. And then once I met you guys, it's like, okay, I was right to stick to my guns. I was right to follow my path and stick to my truth. And it's really encouraging in life to be proved right, to be proved that you're not crazy, and you are valid. And it kind of validates us. But that resonation that I felt inside, I never left it. I always stuck to it. And I think that's what people should do. Do what they feel is right, not just what the group they're in is doing. Because sometimes the group they're in isn't necessarily healthy or good for them. So it's honor your own essence, honor your own truth and what you believe. And I think, yeah, the frequency thing, there's all sorts of energies, people that watch a lot of TV or movies or go to nightclubs, their frequency is very high, I wouldn't say high or low, but it's very frenetic, very active. So they don't like sitting still. They don't like reading a book. They don't like quiet things or nature. So they miss out on that side of life, which is a shame. And those that like nature miss out on the nightlife. But I think we live through phases in our life. We go through phases in life, which we get tired of things. Yeah, I've done nightclubbing. I've done drinking, done all that stuff. I'm bored. I'm moving on. And it's just where you are. And I think that's what people need to be honest with themselves about it and not just follow the crowd, you know? Not just follow because it's company. Don't be scared to be alone. Don't be scared to speak your truth. That's my point, mate. Yeah.
Yes, mate. Excellent points. Yeah, you're right. I want to clarify. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I've also learned much from you, very much, a lot. And I do appreciate you allow me to be me. That I know some of the things I speak about, they're beyond what you basically. I know, but thank you for never making that something that divides us. Just saying, yeah, he's like that. As you say, I don't agree with everything. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say with making an effort, same as the effort you have done with me,
No real effort.
of trying to say, yeah, I don't agree with everything with family members or anything, but let's find common ground. I mean, there is common ground.
Yeah.
Also, as you were saying, it's a perfect example of why I believe all reality is going to change, okay? And it's going to be based on resonation, be based on frequency. What's going to happen is as we want different things, we want to stop everything about this world. A group of us, I'm not saying I'm the part of the good guys, but I align with that concept of leaving behind, for example, separation, judgment, and all that. I'm trying to be different. Okay, try. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I say we're going to create a reality, because as we unite with this frequency, with this vibration, a new reality is going to be created for the ones that want to be part of it, which is doesn't make you a good person. If you want to stay in this current reality, that doesn't make you a bad person. I mean, there are a lot of people in this world, probably a good percentage, think this world is perfect. Think this world is, there's nothing wrong. And for me, I could be Elon Musk, the richest person in the world, with the best health, and I would still think, in my heart, honestly, I'm saying this 100%, I will still think this reality is wrong. Okay?
Yeah.
Because there's division, because we're separated, because there's hate, because there's fear, because there's envy, because there's judgment, because all of those things that I don't want to be part anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
So you, me, and many others that want a different thing, a new reality is going to be created, and an older reality is going to stay, by the way. For the ones that say, hey, I want the physical stuff, I want the materialism, I want the money, I want the, I want the Rolex. Remember from last episode, so that's reality is going to stay.
Yeah.
So that's the concept of the reality split or timeline split. And what's going to happen is, as you evolve from that reality, say, I don't want this anymore. I want to go with the guys that are uniting. I want to go with the guys that know that we're all part of the same thing, that we're all brothers and sisters, and they're going to jump to that reality. Okay, is that they're going to join. That's what I think is going to happen. Okay, that's what I think is going to happen. It's not magical. It's nothing like that. There's a fundamental frequency difference right now in the world that some are still aligning with the materialism, some are still aligning with the division, some are still aligning with the hate, some with the vengeance, with the violence, and some are saying enough of that. Not that I'm better. It's not that. It's not better or worse thing. That's duality as well. And we're living that duality. It's just, I want something different. I'm in a different level of resonance, of frequency.
Absolutely, yeah. I was watching a thing earlier on YouTube. There's a guy called Bruce Lipton, and he's into this thing called epigenetics. Basically, what it means is, it's
Remember Michelle? Just quickly interrupt you. Remember Michelle from?
Yeah.
Michelle, she was into epigenetics. mean,
Okay.
she
Right.
basically believed it was the core of everything. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. But this guy was saying that we can, it's not the genes that cause cancer or, the genes that cause illness or anything like that. It's the culture that they're in. So if you was to put a gene in a Petri dish, it depending on the culture that's in that dish, that gene will grow differently than if it was in another dish. And he said, our thoughts are like the chemist. And it's the cells in the body, there's so many trillion cells in the body, but the thought is the chemist, the pharmacist, and the brain, sorry. And then the brain creates chemicals and releases them into the body depending on our thoughts. So if we have happy thoughts or depressing thoughts or negative thoughts or we're in fear, depending on what we're in, what thoughts we occupy, that affects the body and the health of the person. And he said it matters what you do and what you consume. And the guy was on there with him. What's his name? Rangan Chatterjee. He said, it's quite interesting because when you watch TV, he said, I don't watch the news anymore. He's a doctor. And the guy said, good for you. Well done. He said, yeah, because I noticed when I watched the news, when I used to watch it, I was in a different state of being. I was always upset or angry or off balance, on edge. He said, I've stopped watching the news. And it's like already he's elevated his own mood because his brain is not producing chemicals of fear or hate or anger into his bloodstream, therefore making him ill. And it's like if you read a newspaper, you might read The Sun or a tabloid, and it's all about drama and gossip and pop stars. And you think, yeah, I'm bored of that. That's not for me. And you might read another newspaper. I don't read any anymore because I don't trust them. But you can have a different style or different type, different energy. So you consume a different energy of whatever you are. And then that makes you a better, different person, or more calmer, or more excitable, depending on what you read. So what we read and what we eat and what we consume affects our frequency. There's no doubt about that in my book. But it's just interesting how people are not even aware of what they engage with and how it affects them. But if they paid attention to what they consume, then visually, mentally, and even their food, it might make them a bit more aware, a bit more positive. Yeah. I just thought that was interesting, mate. Yeah.
No, it's very interesting. I have a split opinion on that. I think definitely for choices, moral. Well, you know that I think morality is inside you. It's not something you acquire. But in practicality, your morality is most of the times shaped by your experience in this earth, okay?
Yeah.
So I was watching a series, very interesting. It's Mexican, but it's in Netflix, that they made an experiment, apparently based on real events, that they made an experiment of separating how do you call it? Three sisters, but they were how do you call it when they're the same?
Triplets.
Triplets. Yes, I didn't find the word. Triplets, and they separated them at birth, and one was in a very unwealthy family, one was normal middle class, and one was very rich. And the one that was on the wealthy family ended up being kind of a prostitute or something like that.
Oh.
The normal one ended up being a policeman, and the very wealthy being chairman of a corporation and that.
Sure.
So very different morality among them. The really the one that struggled a lot, questionable moral choices, she would steal, stuff like that. The policeman so. The other one was all. So the experiment apparently is true, a true story, is to see if it's the genes or the experience. Okay. So in that case, I agree. It's way easier, for example, for Donald Trump to be born in what he was. He didn't have to struggle or anything like that. That compared to someone that, is a child soldier in Africa or something like that he's struggling to eat. For example, what morality do we want a child in Africa to have when he's every day told he doesn't know if he's going to eat or not? I mean, come on. It's not easy. So yes, I think epigenetics on that sense of the shaping of what kind of human being are you going to be? Yes. On the disease part, I don't agree much because how will you explain 4-year-olds getting cancer and stuff like that That has to be a genetic expression. Okay.
Sure.
That has to be a genetic predisposition. The ones that, the mother has diabetes and the children, I think if a mother with diabetes has 4 children, like 2 are going to get diabetes some way, somehow. Again, they could make the perfect choices, mate. They could manage their stress. They could eat perfectly. They could make the best healthy choices, and still they're going to get diabetes. How is that? To be genetics, okay?
Oh, just one thing. Are we missing something? Could it be that?
Yes, because remember, they wanna prime us. At the end,
Yeah.
what they want is suppression.
Yeah.
This reality is to suppress you, and not so you don't discover who you are. Because if everyone will discover who we are, the game is done. It's
Oh,
finished.
yeah.
It's
Like
finished.
that, isn't it?
It's
Over.
like game over. Ciao.
Yeah.
But they do such an effort that we are again trying to make ends meet, because I share it. Some people don't realize like 70-80% of the people worldwide are struggling, mate.
Yeah.
Maybe most of them are eating, but most of them are struggling to pay bills, getting to the end of the month with a few dollars or pounds or euros or whatever. They're really, really struggling. Even my family in Italy, they're all what you will call, I don't know, normal class in Italy or something. They tell me at the end of the month, and basically, I'm just waiting for to the last day of the month to get my payment and cross over. That's it.
Sad, isn't it? Yeah.
It's
true. I think
go ahead.
a great point, mate. The culture is a really good point you make of where you're born and who you're surrounded by, and that influence, nature or nurture. Because there's a guy called B.F. Skinner. He's back from the 60s or the 50s. He was a scientist and crazy. I think he was a bit squirry, but he put his daughter in a cage and he did an experiment on her. And he did experiments with animals, and he found out that your environment affects your behavior. So depending on where you are, you could be in a shopping mall. You'll behave differently in a shopping mall than if you was in a waiting room for a doctor or in a library. And it affects us. The environment affects our behavior. So I think the epigenetics thing is one thing, and then it's being aware of it. I think being aware of it is the key. If you know that it's not me, this isn't me, this is the environment, you take your power back. You can be autonomous from it, and you can make your own choices and not let the situation make your choices for you. Because a lot of times I used to speak out, especially from school, when I was in school, I always spoke out about things. Oh, miss, that's wrong. That's not right. That's not right. Oh, what is it again? Crying out loud. Okay, yes. Or just shut up, whichever mood she was in. But it was always, I never let the situation overpower me. I never let the situation dictate how I behaved. I don't know why. I just naturally spoke out, because if I saw something wrong, the feeling in me was strong enough to say, no, that's not right. I'm not doing that. Don't agree with that. But a lot of people in class are scared to speak out because they're in a classroom. Oh, you mustn't speak in a class. You've got to be quiet. It didn't matter to me. So it's being aware of these things, being aware of what company you're in, being aware of where you are and what situation it is, and not allowing that to dictate to you who you are. And I think that's important. Yeah, I think that's important, mate. Being aware of where you are, what you are, and not letting it affect you as an individual.
Yes. And no, yes, it's very important to know who you are, to really not care like you do, and you didn't when you were explaining that story in the classroom. I mean, I think we're getting away from the concepts of validation. I was thinking I wanted to introduce it earlier, but I'm gonna go right ahead. Remember that guy from the Week in the Future comments? I'm gonna say it. I don't think he followed me.
There was a few, weren't there?
No, there were a few, but I'm talking of harmful content. Okay.
Oh yes.
Yes. So the thing
Not
is,
happy.
obviously, smart guy, smart in the sense that he read and he knew a few things, but it was the way of expressing.
Yeah.
Like you will try to reason with a guy. I mean, to see what he was about, and no, his intention was to stumble you, to make you feel less. That he didn't achieve that with you or me, maybe with others, but not with you and me. And he will try to make you feel less. He will always, I mean, I remember there was an episode and we're talking of condensation and that. I'm a mechanical engineer, okay?
Yeah.
And then I have a master's on mechanical design as well. So I know about transformation of matter and I know about the three states. And
Sure.
I know, for example, that condensation is a temporary state. So what he was saying is impossible, okay? It's
Yeah.
even foolish, childish, almost like, But instead of me trying to, I just said, to be honest with you, I cannot keep discussing with you because he will say, oh, you are an idiot. He'll start with a name calling. By the way, if you resort to that, there's a reason for that. If you need to start insulting people, it's because you are not at the level of those. I mean, the idiot is not there. Maybe the idiot is you. Okay. You just
Yeah.
start calling people idiot.
You lost
Okay.
the argument, did you?
Yeah, of course. And that upset him, you see. But I wasn't trying to exhibit him in a way. I just trying, where are you coming from with this? I mean, and he came with some, it's like, imagine you being a doctor, Tony, and you knowing this stuff. I mean, medical doctor and knowing this stuff, and someone trying to explain you how the stomach works and the heart works and that. And you of course know better, okay?
Yeah.
And for me, I say, you know what? No worries, you win. Yeah, it's like you say, I don't care. I say, yeah, you see, you're an idiot. I knew it.
No. They want your attention, don't they? They want your energy. They want your energy.
Mate, I don't know what it is. I think it goes back to the egoic mind. I think it goes back that we go into rabbit holes through the egoic mind. That's why you and I don't go into rabbit holes anymore. I used to go into rabbit holes years ago. But I don't go into rabbit holes anymore because I know the rabbit holes are there. So at the end, I don't know whatever is real or not, like the flat earth.
Yeah. Can't prove
But at
it,
the end,
yeah.
I'm upset when anyone moves my needle, when anyone, oh, yeah. For example, with flat earth, there's this thing called the Coriolis effect, and that's how water moves different on the southern hemisphere than the northern hemisphere.
Right,
So there are hemispheres because it moves differently. But the flat earthers come up with I don't know what explanation that if you watch water strolling down in Argentina, it's the opposite sense than in London. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's because of the centrifugal force being different on both hemispheres. Okay.
But yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.
So there are two hemispheres. The Earth is round. That's one of the many validations you can use to validate the Earth is round. Yeah. But for them, it's like with this guy, he was saying, no, because condensation condensation is temporary. Okay. And it's related to entropy, which is the randomness of the environment. So sometimes it's sufficiently random that condensation happens. And sometimes it doesn't have the randomness and it doesn't happen. Entropy.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't understand what entropy was, by the way, which is a thermodynamic property of matter. But it's a randomness. Okay. Yeah. So it allows this stage of crystallization of water particles called condensation. Yeah. But it's not, I mean, when you can take a boiling pot made in winter and it's going to create some condensation, but it's not going to stay there all day, okay?
Oh, it's temporary.
Because the randomness changes. Yes, that's the thing. The entropy changes.
Yeah.
And so it goes back to condensation is like a fourth state, okay?
Yeah.
Solid, liquid, gas. It's a different thing. It's not one of the three. Okay, it's like solid with gas at the same time because of the ice crystals. So it's not meant to stay. Yeah, that's why when it's winter, you speak, and some apparently vapor ice crystals come from your mouth, but it's temporary. They don't stay in the room there all day. That was my point. You see, but that upset him very much. You see.
Yeah.
And I go back. It has to go back to the egoic mind, I think.
Okay, I think he's one of those people. He has to be right. It's like as a little kid.
Yes.
If he wasn't right, he's like, oh no, I don't like you. You're not my friend anymore. But it's like I need to be right all the time, and it's an ego thing, like you say. They can't accept that they're wrong or they don't know something, and I think that's a frequency. That's the frequency of contracted, being like too tightly wrapped. They say you're too tightly wound up. Like it's kind of an obsession, like an obsession with it. You have to be right. And that's a frequency. You find that in people who have, not all of them, but they have degrees or diplomas. A lot of them, not all, but lots, No, I know I'm right. I've got a degree. I've got an MA, a master's. I've got a this. I've got. But then you get certain ones that have then qualifications who are more open-minded, like you know. So there is a different type of person, but it's not necessarily I'm right because I have a degree. It's I'm right because I've listened to the other side and come to the conclusion I'm right. If you haven't listened to the other side, your frequency is too tight, too condensed. You're not open to anything else. If you're open, you're loose. Your frequency is more open, gentle, wide, expansive. So yeah, and it's up to these people, harmful, to look himself in the mirror and say, "You don't know everything. Don't think you know everything." But when if that day don't come, he's going to be an old man arguing with the postman and the bus driver. "You're late." "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." It's like open-mindedness.
No,
So
and I don't know. I don't know if there's the saying that UK made, but we have a saying here that is saying, "You want to solve all the problems in the world, go to a bar."
yeah,
Because everyone has an opinion, and no, they should do this, and they
that's
talk
it.
about stuff that maybe, I mean, now that you mentioned harmful and having to be right, I think goes back to arrogance and I mean, mate, Einstein. I mean, he was asked to validate, hey, is there the possibility of free energy in the universe? And he says, no, definitely not. How does he know whatever happens
Yeah, how
a
does he
million
know?
miles from here? How does he know that there's not another dimension or something like that? So he
Yeah,
said, no, because in Earth, which he's right, in current Earth right now, the law of conservation of energy applies. What does that mean is you have a system and you cannot get more energy than you put into that system. Okay, so let's say 1,000 kilowatts. You're not gonna. I mean, there's that you have to lose some energy with friction, with
yeah,
transporting energy. You lose energy. For example, when you move energy through the power lines, you lose energy. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
you start with an amount of energy. You're not gonna get the same at the end. You're gonna lose
No,
in the moving of this energy. Okay, not very
that's it.
much maybe, and they are very efficient right now,
Yeah,
1%, 2%, but you get less.
yeah,
You never can get more because I will be inventing energy in Einstein's eyes. He doesn't
yes,
open to the possibility that energy is available. So you're not inserting it in the system. It was there, it's here, and it's infinite because it's universe given, it's creator given, it's God given. Okay,
yeah,
it's universal energy. So you tap into that, and it's an unlimited stream, and the law of conservation of energy doesn't apply there. You see, what Einstein
yes.
said for sure, law, it's
Yeah.
impossible
You
because you
can't
cannot have a
substitute.
system that gets out more energy than the system has to start with.
I think you
You see?
can. Yeah,
No, I do. I'm sure.
yeah,
Mate, how will the planets and everything that powers the universe works? It has to
yeah.
be a
Where did it come from?
God-given universal energy. Okay.
Yeah,
And I share. I mean, we're not talking about energy, but just quickly on the episode with Harold Klasvela, episode 51 and 52. I think it was in the second part that he
yeah,
mentioned a story that a father in Mexico City he modified a motorcycle. In the way I understood it, he put it backwards, mate. You see, like
yes,
the
yeah,
wheels up. Can you figure it that way? So
yeah,
I don't know, it was probably intuition, mate. It was probably spiritual intuition that he
yeah,
modified the back wheel with a hammer, like
yeah.
made it
Okay.
differently. So suddenly he connected that to a generator, okay,
Yeah,
with a rod, so the generator will move and create energy. So he spin it and it will stay working forever.
perpetual
That
motion.
violated Einstein's
There you
conservation
go.
of energy because as the force that you're giving it, which is a force, it creates energy,
Yeah,
and the friction and the energy that it was producing, it had to eventually stop. Like when you put a motorcycle upside down, you
yeah.
spin the back wheel, it's gonna stop
The
eventually.
hub friction, isn't it?
The friction is gonna, yes, in that, but it had a connection to a generator. And what he wanted was the generator was powering a dialysis machine for the son, which had a kidney issue.
Oh,
And
wow.
because the energy, the power was going out to Mexico City, he came out with that solution. But it worked forever. So
Sure.
what happened is investigators came and said, how is this working? I mean, this shouldn't be spinning forever. And the end, one of them had to say, is the heart of the father, the love of the father for his son that is spinning this wheel.
That's
Yes,
it.
that's the free energy, okay?
Yeah,
And the same, the love of the creator, the love of source is the
yeah,
free energy of the universe.
yeah.
So there is free energy. We don't need to burn oil. We don't need solar. We
Oh,
don't need wind. We don't need anything. It's available.
yeah,
But the arrogance of people like Einstein, because he of course worked for the system, mate. Of
yeah. That's
course,
it.
of course, of course.
You've got an agenda,
Yes, of course,
but
of
yeah,
course. Sorry,
it's
sorry, it was a kind of a side subject of, it's
no,
an
it's good.
interesting story.
It is, yeah. No, but it's just people's arrogance and their agendas tend to make them fit into a box, fit into a pigeonhole, and they're playing a role. So those people lose out in the end. They lose out because they don't find out who they are. They never find out what they're meant to do because they're playing a role. So yeah, I think you get two types of people: system people who are playing a role for money, and they're basically robots. They just live a life of robotic, being told what to do. And you get other people like us who live a life of intuition and insight and curiosity. What am I about? What's this world about? And they find out they're not robots. They go in the other direction. They're open-minded. They're learning. They're evolving. And then they get the spiritual connection. They become aware of spirituality and free energy, chi. Meditation. You can feel the chi in your fingers if you sit there. It's a whole new world. It's the opposite of the robot system and being told what to do and being paid for what you're told to do. It's not a real life. So Einstein, yeah, great. You've got your degree, you've got your theory, and all people like him, all the experts, all the professionals, experts. Good luck to you, but you're never going to find out who you are. You're following orders from someone above you in a wicked game, and you're so arrogant. It's making you even more arrogant. So I say good luck to you. I hope you find yourself, but you're not going to find it by being told what to do. So I think, yeah, frequency is literally like on and off switch. They switch themselves off and they're following orders like a robot. We've got our light on and we're making our own rules up. We're living our own life, shining our light. We want to shine our light. And I think that's, for me, it's the only way to live. It's a life. That's not a life, you know. So that's the frequency, I think, mate, the on and off switch. You do what you're told and you die slowly. You lose your soul, or you do what you want to do, what you feel to do, and you evolve. And you'll come out of this world to a new realm when this body falls away, and you'll elevate to a new, higher spiritual realm. That's my version of it. So yeah, I don't care what they do. I don't care what money they want to throw at me, or how much praise they give me, how much credit or manipulation. I'll see through it. It's not happening. So yeah, once your light's on, you never turn it off again. You live your own life. And that's my frequency. Aware, awake, aware. And thinking for myself. Keep saying that in every episode, don't I? But yeah, use your own mind. And it's the only way to go. It's the only way to be.
And you know what, mate? I also think in the case of Einstein, it's a moral choice, okay? Because he knew
Yeah,
what was right. He knew,
yeah,
he knew. But then they think of their legacy, or how am I gonna be remembered, and their comfort, money-wise, are they gonna take my money? And so they make a moral choice, which is not from the heart. That's why I say morality has to come from the heart.
yeah,
Morality has to come from within, because trust me, whenever you make a moral choice with the heart, it's going to be a yes or no. It's going to be very simple. We want this full explanation. So, okay, you should do this because at the end, no, the heart doesn't say no. In the
no,
case
no,
of Einstein, should I tell what I know, that free energy is possible and the law of conservation of energy is not absolutely, happens here on Earth, but it's a limited realm. It is not universal.
yeah,
Yes, you should say that.
that's
Yes,
it.
but if I say that, they're gonna take away my money, and then
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go back in history like the smartest person ever.
yeah,
So you know what? Whatever. And you make a compromise, a
that's it.
moral compromise
Choose.
fully through your brain, and the brain is the one that says, okay, so you're gonna defraud this person, but you're gonna pay the benefit, and you didn't kill anyone, so it's not so wrong. Maybe
Yeah,
for a politician, okay?
Yeah.
So you're not killing anyone. So yes, you're getting a little bit ahead, but you deserve it. You have worked hard. That's all the brain.
Yeah.
That's all the brain. Because the heart, the answer will be no. Don't do it.
Clean. Yes.
Clean, straight. No, it's
Yeah.
morally wrong. You do whatever you want. The spirit will always tell you that. You do whatever you want. And you know who pays at the end, mate? When we live, when we die,
Spirit.
this body goes wherever it goes. Who pays? The spirit.
Yeah.
Who
It
pays
might
the
be big.
bill? Who pays the bill? The spirit. The one that is the one that told you no specifically
Yeah.
is the one that pays the bill with karma. Okay.
Totally agree. 100%. It's
So
choice, isn't it?
so you see, it has to be that the answer in this reality is behave like a spirit.
Yeah.
Yes, we're a body, but behave like a spirit. The most you can, because it's I think we will have to pack our bags, mate, and go to some monastery out there. That's the only way. That's the only way. And even that, they probably have their own issues there.
Really.
But that's the reason they do that, by the way, because
Yeah.
that's why they don't have any children. That's why they go there. They don't have a television. They don't have magazines. They don't have anything to pollute. Because imagine being like that is hard for them to stay zen, to stay centered. How hard it has to be for regular people like you and me.
Yeah.
10, 100, 10, 1,000 times harder.
Yeah. I think they do miss out though. They do miss out
Yes.
because they're not living life. They're not living their own life. They're like little children in a nursery being told by the chief monk what to do. It's like, that's not life. Life is taking chances. Life is, being adventurous, speaking your truth, learning about people. All they learn about is other monks who are doing the same thing. But yeah, it's frequency, and they're vibrating at a frequency of, I want to get away from the world. That's their frequency. Help, sanctuary. So they all, that type of frequency, all gather together in a monastery. But they're not living their own life. That's the point.
But mate, I think Master Buddha, his point was make your choices with your heart. Maybe he was not explicit about that. He was always about the brain.
Yeah.
But he was always about clearing the brain. Whenever something comes to your brain, clear it. That's why they say, you see the Buddha, kill it. Sounds awful. No, you see the Buddha, even the Buddha, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
You see it, clear it from your mind.
Sure.
And that's the Zen state. So I think it has to do with make your choices with your heart and abide by it. I mean, stick with it, because again, you start doing it and then it says, oh, I didn't like it because doing the moral thing all the time, some are gonna say it's not, it's not good business, and they have to justify themselves. I've seen it many times, mate. People that justify saying, hey, I didn't kill anyone. Yes, I do some stuff here and there, but I don't kill anyone. Okay.
Yeah. You made a good point with the mind, mate. When you said, see the Buddha kill it, i.e. clear the mind, it's like we learn through experience. As children, growing up, I think it was the Jesuits say, give me the child till they're 7 and I'll give you the man. Because before they're 7, I think it was that video I watched, you absorb in a theta state. It's like your imagination is vivid. So like you see kids playing tea party, so they're pouring an empty cup, a teapot into an empty cup. And they're going, oh, this tea is delicious, but there's nothing there. So children live in their imagination. And when they see something their parent doing, they mimic it. Or if their parent tells them, oh, you're a silly little girl, you're a silly little boy, to them that's reality. That becomes reality. So if oh, I'm a silly little boy or girl. And everything you tell a child, they absorb it. And that becomes their personality. And my point of being clear to Buddha was the conscious mind, being awake, it sees the world. So it's like a camera. It snap, takes pictures of the world. But the subconscious is in that imagination state of a child. So that's where you're absorbing into the subconscious without a filter. Your mind isn't filtering what is coming in under 7. So, and when you get to 7, you start to critically think, and you think, well, I don't want that. I don't believe that. I like that. After 7, you can protect yourself a bit more. But before 7, you're wide open to what the world is telling you. And if your programming is negative or fearful, angry, that's the sort of person you'll grow up to be. If you've been told, oh, you're a very clever kid, oh, you're so smart, oh, you're so kind, that child will grow up to be more kind and generous, hopefully. But it's the subconscious that we need to reprogram. And we only do that in repetition and practicing new things often enough. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So you practice it like a musical instrument. You play guitar or violin. You start off, you're like, oh my goodness, turn that off. But as you play, you get better. And then you start to play Mozart and you get paid for it. But you need to do a new thing, practice something new, and then just repeat, repeat, repeat. And that becomes your new programming. And that muscle memory or that intelligence is now in the subconscious because you've reprogrammed your subconscious through your conscious mind. But if you keep this empty, like you said, the Buddha, kill it, only then can you learn anything new. If you're in autopilot, your subconscious is running your life. So you're right, clear the Buddha, empty the mind, and learn something new, something positive to reprogram your conditioning, your subconscious. And I think that is how we master ourselves. We just choose wisely. We choose wise things and get rid of things that are no good for us, like quit smoking, like junk food. Just choose wisely, practice it, repeat, repeat, repeat. And then your mind and your subconscious, your imagination, gives you what you want, it evolves you, you know? And I think that's great, what you say. Yeah, keep the mind empty and live life. And then the heart lives life. The heart enjoys life through the senses, because this isn't involved. The autopilot. So yeah, it's great point you make. Good. Yeah.
Yes, it's the Buddhist way. I mean, it's basically go with the heart. Even if they don't talk much about the heart, it seems that the Buddhist is all about the mind. How it will be about the mind if they're about clearing the mind? No, maybe there's a point in clearing the mind, as you say.
Yeah.
Because again, as you say, after 7, we start consciously, making excuses here and there. That's what I'm talking with the morality, the brain morality.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you should do this. No, you deserve it. What deserving has to do with morality? I mean, it doesn't matter what I've done. It's either wrong or right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no middle ground. I mean, no, yeah, but so because it has an agenda. The agenda is for you to make the wrong choices.
Yeah.
The wrong moral choices. So you're stuck here and we don't evolve. I hear so much this idea that we're here to evolve. That's probably right. If this reality was, yes, if this reality was not like that, I think you're totally right. But if this reality was not about all the bombardment and all, how can you evolve what you are being constantly? I don't know. It makes it kind of difficult. Mate, we are close right about that time that we're gonna end the show. So you have anything in closing?
No, it's great chat. Thanks again. But yeah, back to the children. When you're under 7, they know right and wrong. Always. You cannot fool a kid. No, that's wrong, that's wrong. And when they get over 7, they start to use this. Like you say, they justify wrong action because they're taught by the world. If they were left alone, they'd be brilliant. They'd change this world in a year. If you let the kids run it for, that honesty and that integrity and that divinity. So yeah, I think it's been said. We've said enough, mate. It's been great chat.
Yes, just imagine if all the world, all the decisions will be made with moral choices. Just imagine. Maybe the world will be different. Maybe we won't have all this technology and these cities and airplanes. I don't know. But the world would be different because, again, as you say, children know better. Children under 7 know better. Then when the mind starts creeping in, starts the justification.
That's it.
And even with politicians, they say, no, yes, I mean, they call it here in Mexico, pact with criminals. So because it's the only way to so they can behave. No, go with moral choices.
Yes.
I mean, at the end, and the moral choices is yes or no. There's no explanation. Okay, why is no? Because it's no. Because that's the right thing, and it's universal. It comes,
Exactly.
But which we sorry about that. We love to, to justify ourselves.
Yeah, shouldn't compromise.
Yes, totally.
Shouldn't compromise.
So, mate, thank you very much. You have
Thanks.
anything else? No?
No,
Okay,
great.
perfect.
Super.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much. Thanks. Thank you very much. And for everyone, please stay for the last 2 minutes of the show. Have a great day. Thanks. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from touching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you'd like to appear on the show, please email me at kate@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very